Happy New Year! If you're looking to have your most productive and successful year yet, I really wanted to share this planning method I discovered last year that totally changed my life. It's called the 12-week year method, and I'm going to be using my new Hobonichi Hon, which is a very popular planner in Japan, to be able to track my progress. Now, you could use this 12-week year method with any kind of notebook you have around, but I wanted to show you the Hobonichi Hon in case you got it or you're curious about the Hobonichi because these are huge in Japan and I have always wanted one, so I'll show you the setup right now. First things first is I had to find the Hobonichi on my trip to Japan. I went all over. Some places didn't exactly know what I was talking about, but I think that's because my Japanese isn't very good. And then finally I went to Yorobashi Camera and they had everything, including cameras, suitcases, anything you can imagine, and the Hobonichi. I finally found it and I was so excited. So that's totally our first not really tip of the video, is if you spend $1,000 on a plane ticket to go to Japan, you could save $30 on a Hobonichi. This was 3,000 yen, guys, which is basically $20 right now at the conversion rate. I couldn't believe it. I don't know why in my head I thought it was so much more expensive when I was there. I wish I had just gotten everything at this point. I don't even want to look at these videos because there are so many little stationary things that I actually probably wish I would have bought. I mean, the Moomin ones are so cute, but here is the whole full setup of the Hobonichi that they have here. Hobonichi also offers like 5-year planners. They have pretty elaborate things, but I was happy with the Hon because it's a good overview of the year. So now I want to share with you the 12-week year method. And again, you can use this method with a normal notebook. That's what I was using before. I'd never had a Hobonichi before, but I'll show you how to use it regardless of what kind of planner you have, and then I'll show you how I'm going to use it in my new Hobonichi. The 12-week year is actually a method from a wonderful book by Brian P. Moran and Michael Lennington. And when I tell you this method really changed my life and my frame of reference for how to get things done, I'm being serious. I really think it could help you, especially if you're someone who has a lot of different goals. This helps you prioritize things and really get on track and make movement, because I find when you have a lot of different goals and hobbies, it can be very difficult to balance all of those and figure out what it is you really want to get done. And if you're anything like me, you probably just don't do anything at all. You're kind of stuck. And this really helped me get past that feeling of being pulled in all these different directions. So their whole tagline of this book is you can get more done in 3 months than most people do in 1 year, or that you're used to doing in 1 year. And I'm telling you, I believe this is totally true, because every week in the 12-week year turns into what used to be your month. And I'll kind of show you how that works within this process, but it totally changes your frame of reference for how you think about time and how you value even an hour, a day, a week, and how you measure your productivity. So the first thing you want to do is identify your goals, and this is how you're going to set your priorities. And it really helps you focus and narrow it down when you make SMART goals. And a SMART goal is something that is specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. So it's a really nice acronym to remember. It's basically making goals that are very specific and tailored so that you know you could actually get them done. And I'll talk more about that because a huge part of this method is breaking down your goals into very small chunks. So you'll see that the 12-week year really focuses on the power of small segmented bits of time. So instead of setting a goal for the end of the year that you might even carry over next year because you forget about it or you don't make much action towards it, now we're going to break down your goals to fit into every week, every day, and every hour to make the most of your time, so that by the time 2026 comes around, you're not wondering, oh my gosh, what happened to my goal to write a book? I guess I did some pages in January. No more of that anymore. Now you're going to come up with a system that revolves around a weekly plan that you're going to measure your progress against. This weekly plan you're going to review and see how well you did. Did you actually write? Let's say your goal is to write a book. Did you write your pages? Did you sit down and make an outline? And if you didn't, why didn't you do anything against that goal? You're going to measure your positives and your negatives, and you're going to confront yourself and say, okay, well, if I was avoiding writing this outline, why is that? Is it because I'm scared that my book's not going to be good? Is it because I truly just didn't have enough time? I was caught up in work, or is it because I spent, the last week watching the Squid Game season 2, which by the way was pretty good. So you're just going to start measuring things to ensure you're on the right track and confronting yourself if you are or are not actually getting to where you want to be. Measuring your progress in this way is so impactful because instead of how you feel you did that week, like, oh, I feel like I got a lot done, or, the opposite, I often feel, oh, I didn't do much at all. Now, when you measure your progress in a way that you actually write it down and see what you did, see what you checked off on your daily tasks, you can really begin to analyze and understand the patterns of if you're actually getting things done or if you're avoiding things. I highly recommend checking this book out at your library, or I'll also link below the article that I read that helps sum up the book and give a refresher to me, because I highly recommend getting into this book. They have the scorecards and their specific ways of measuring in it, but the way I do it is I like to just simplify it and say I have 5 tasks I want to complete. If I did all 5 tasks, I get 100%. And if I didn't, I take off accordingly. But really, you just want to recap and see, did you do all the things you said you were going to do? If not, why? And then you rinse and repeat, and you do a little smiley face, and you start over again. So as a recap of our 12-week year, it really, really helps you get more done within a week and a month and 3 months, and then by the end of this, you'll really feel that you've accomplished something big if you are measuring your progress, being intentional, and being honest with yourself. You can definitely do this. Now I want to walk you through how to use the 12-week year plan, and the first thing you need to do before establishing a 12-week year plan is really to identify your vision. It's so fundamental that you establish a vision, a clear goal of where you want to be by the end of this year, maybe even 3, 5, 7 years in advance. Go for your wildest dreams. You don't have to think small in this part, but you have to think, what is it that I really want at the end of this year? What would I be happy with having accomplished? And what would I be proud of myself to say I had done this year? There's a quote that has stuck with me since middle school, and I remember seeing this quote in a Casey Neistat video, and he said, "Without a goal, you cannot score." And I think that's so true. If you don't have a clear vision on where you want to be, how are you going to get there? So I think this is really a time for reflection, especially at the start of a new year, thinking, what do you want to have, do, and be? The beauty about a 12-week year as well is you don't have to wait until January 1st. You can start this anytime you want, because now you are dictating when your year starts. It's a new year, it's a new life for you. What are you going to accomplish in this 12 weeks that you'll be proud of to say that you have done? So you get to write your vision and what you want to be and do and have. Think about it in 1 year from now, but you can even think in 5, 10, 15 years. So now, once you've had your kind of soul-searching moment thinking about, who it is you want to become and who you want to be and how you'll feel that fulfillment and success 5, 10, or 15 years from now, you have to think this year, what steps will I take to become that person I want to be and to do those goals and to live the life I want to live? And you can even break this down into smaller categories of what it is exactly that you want in your life this year. So the 12-week year, we're breaking things down from where you want to be in your grand vision to even smaller and smaller parts, because this makes it much easier to tackle. Say you want to be a best-selling children's book author in 15 years. Well, this year, what do you have to do to start that? 1, I want to read more children's books. 2, I want to get in touch with a children's book author, and I want to learn how to write better, right? So we're breaking down your huge goals that seem very far away into this 1 year and then your 12-week year. And it's great to be as specific as possible. So say you want to be healthier. Well, what do you want to you want to be a bodybuilder in 15 years? You want to be super buff and look like Arnold Schwarzenegger? Well, we've got to start on the small things. 1, I'm going to sign up for a gym membership this month, right? So now we're going to take our huge goals that seem very far away and develop our 12-week year based off of that. So now we're developing our 12-week year, determining only 1 to 3 goals that we are going to go after. So you're not picking 5, you're not picking 6 or 7 like me. I have all these ideas of things I want to do, and this is why this method helped me so much. It says no, throw all that stuff out. What are the 1 to 3 most pressing, most important things we need to get done in the next 3 months to get you to where you want to go, right? So we are prioritizing. And that's part of the reason why this system is so amazing. No longer are you going to be stuck in any ruts. You're just going to pick something, okay? You're going to determine the 1 to 3 things you really need to do, and you're going to chase after those things. And a good way to figure out what is a good goal, right, is thinking about your vision and then wondering how these feed into your key goals, right? So say I wanted to become a bodybuilder. Well, then a key goal, of course, is to start researching bodybuilding, maybe going to the gym, maybe finding a mentor who could help me, right? So you need to think about what you need to do daily and weekly in order to accomplish your big goal at the end of your 12-week year or your 1 year or 3-year mark, right? It's going to really help you break these things down, something that's very abstract, that seems very far away, right? Your vision of who you want to be, and break it down into the weekly and daily and hourly things you just need to get done, right? Because these goals, you don't just become them. You don't just suddenly wake up one day and you're a best-selling author, right? There are little steps in the background that you need to take every day. It's all about consistency. So when you're setting your goals, keep this SMART framework in mind: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely or time-bound goals, right? Make them as small and specific as possible so that you can actually achieve these goals and feel like you are making progress toward your vision. Feel free to follow along as I'm setting up an example of how I'm executing this 12-week year plan with one of my big goals. Now, one of my huge goals that I've had since I was a little kid is to have a successful YouTube channel and make really great videos that help people, and to build a community of people who want to be creative, who want to make art, who want to travel, discover the world, and who are interested in things that I'm also interested in, like personal finance and museums and and seeing and eating bread in all different kinds of countries. I know that is, a very abstract goal and vision, but I think the most important part of creating a successful YouTube channel is, well, posting videos, which I haven't done that much of. And so this is what that 12-week year really helps you break down. It's like you get to see where your weaknesses are and the steps you should take to actually get to your goal, because it's not just built in like a year. It's built on the daily actions and the systems that you set up in order to achieve your goals. So here I'm writing my vision for what I want. I want to create a successful channel with helpful videos to build a community and encourage people to feel creative and to make things. And I also want to work remotely. So that's what I really want in my goal. So now we're going to think about, oh, I spelled successful wrong. LOL. I'm going to add an extra S here. And then I'm going to think about this year, what steps do I have to take to become a successful YouTuber? First, when you write down your vision, you might see that it is really abstract. In order to decide how to become a successful YouTuber, I want to break down, what does success mean to me? Well, that means I would be monetized or be able to be paid for the work that I'm putting into my channel and the time that I'm putting into my channel. Being monetized also means that people would find value in the things that I'm putting out, right? I'm making something that someone actually wants to watch and finish watching. That would be a huge goal for me, to provide value to people. I want to make active, engaging content and be able to improve my storytelling and filmmaking skills. To me, that would be success. And you don't always want to base your success off things that are out of your control, right? Like being monetized. But there are smarter goals that you can set in the meantime. Like, well, I want to be monetized and reach 4,000 watch hours. I can't control how many people are going to watch my videos, but I can control the quality of my videos and how much I post. If I'm only posting once a month, how can I expect to reach 4,000 watch hours, right? So you're going to break down your steps into SMART goals. I'm going to post weekly. I'm going to try to post 2 times a week. But in order to do that, I'm going to need to be honest with myself and establish an editing schedule and schedule my finished videos in advance. and face all the fears that I have about starting a YouTube channel. So you'll see I'm starting to go through the process of that 12-week year, the first initial thing I showed you, which is one, having the vision, and then having your steps or your weekly goals, your daily goals. And now we're going to go through our challenges, right? You really will find yourself in this process thinking of all of those little things, your limiting beliefs, and that's what makes this so great and slightly painful, is you really have to think through, what is holding you back from getting your goals? Because if you don't have them, there probably is something that's been stopping you this whole time, or that's been really slowing you down. And here we're going to establish that, right? Here are my challenges. Write them out, because you know you're going to face them. And it's better to face them here so you can anticipate it. You'll know what your weaknesses are, and you'll be able to counteract them with action. I think a lot of being scared, being nervous about something is because you're not taking action towards it. So we're going to write out our challenges here. I'm definitely a pretty, maybe like shy or private person, and I can also be pretty self-conscious. So I wrote that down, and I said, you know what, these are things I want to face this year. I'm pretty shy to be someone who is going to be starting a YouTube channel, starting to share parts of my life on the internet. But at the same time, I want to get over that so that I could connect with people and make things that are going to be interesting and helpful for them, because there are many YouTubers that I've watched over the years that have helped me really come out of my shell or learn and develop new skills. And I really appreciate the knowledge that they've been able to share, and I do think that I have something helpful that I could share with people as well. So here we're opening up the new Hobonichi Hon, and guys, I was so excited to have this book. I've been wanting one for years, and to finally be able to experience a Hobonichi is very nice. First off, I'll show you the basic layout of this is that there are individual pages for every day of the year, which I love, because if you're trying to get into the practice of journaling daily, that's going to be huge, because I feel like, okay, there's a space for this. I better journal. I don't want it to be empty. I don't want to leave one day empty. So I'm definitely going to be journaling daily. And now here is the monthly layout, which is so great for being able to establish your 12-week year goals. Again, you can do this in a normal book or a different planner. Just having a calendar, though, that is physical and not on your phone, something that you could lay out like this and see, is going to be so impactful. I was using a different kind of free planner that I got last year, and it really helped me get my goals done, because I could see the 3-month span that I had. That was my 12-week year, and I could really measure and mark down my progress, and it made me feel like I was getting so much closer to my goals, just seeing things laid out and slowly being crossed off one by one. So what we're going to do as our first step is take the monthly view and start to write out our goals. So for my example of wanting to become a YouTuber, well, I better be posting if I want to become a YouTuber, right? So here I am writing out my goals. I usually post on Tuesdays, so I'm going to put an empty box there and put something that I can physically check off, saying, hey, I posted on Tuesday, I've done it, I put myself out there and created a new video. And this helped me a lot last year when I was trying to post every week, and I found the moment I stopped doing this, I stopped posting, because this is a great way to hold yourself accountable, and you just have to stick with it. So now on the left, in that column that has a free space, I'm writing out, hey, I want to post a long form video every single week of this 12-week year, right? You don't have to think about the whole year. We're thinking about our year, our 12-week year. So that's only 5 videos. That's totally attainable. I spend more time on Instagram than I do editing, right? So this is where you start to see your priorities emerge, your 1 to 3 big goals that you want to get done this year. And so my other goal would be to post a short every single week as well. I'm not asking too much of myself, right? You don't want to be loading yourself up with 5 to 7 things you want to do this month. I mean, if you can do it, that's great. But I find that that leads to overwhelm. It's better to say, oh, hey, I have 2 big goals this month. I'm going to post every single week 1 long form video, and I'm going to post 1 short form video every single week. If I could do more, that's great. But right now, I'm going to keep it focused, right? My big goal, if it's to become a YouTuber, I'm going to be focused on those 2 things that will help me make a path there. And In making one long form video a week, right, there's a bunch of little goals that need to go into that. There's scheduling. So I love here on the Hobonichi we have a timetable on the left side. So you could write out, hey, at 1 p.m. I better start editing and I want to be done by 3. You know? So you can get your goals down to an incremental level. We start from the big goal, becoming a YouTuber, split it up into the 12-week goal, posting once a week, 5 times a month, to our now tiny goals. Hey, I want to edit for 3 hours every day, or I want to respond to comments 15 minutes a day. And you'll see as you get down from the big goal into the granular level that those tiny little actions every single day are going to put you so much further ahead than you would have ever been just having your big grand goals, right? Your big resolutions of the year. And that is what makes this method so magical. So I definitely recommend listening to the method on like your library audiobook or checking out at the library because it really works. So now I'm writing out here in my January 2nd day, which, see, I love that there are days printed for every single day of the year and every single hour is going to be accounted for. We'll see how granular I do get, but I want to follow this because I love how they've laid this out. So see, I'm going to set a time to post, and it's actually January 3rd right now, so I've missed that time. So then I'm going to go back to my challenges, say, hey, what happened? And basically, I just got really busy yesterday. So that's okay. Just going to regroup and post this today. Because today I've made actions toward my goal. I'm doing my voiceover, doing my editing, and found the footage from Japan to add into this video. And I also love too that there's a monthly space here to do a big overview. And in the monthly space here, I've written out how I'm going to measure my progress towards my goals. And it's going to be similar to how we put it in the calendar, but here we're just going to have and write out what goals we have. So remember, I wanted to post 5 times a month on YouTube. I'm going to make a space for the 5 videos in my 5 goals and the 5 shorts that I wanted to do. And I think a big part of the 12-week year plan is really that measurement, right? Because instead of going off how you feel you did this month, you have to actually look at the facts, okay? Did you actually come through? Did you actually post? Did you say what you're going to do? And if you did, say you did 4 videos out of 5, we're going to take an audit and say, well, what happened that week I didn't post? Let's not make it a habit, right? Let's get back and see, what happened the 4 weeks I did post? What made that a success? How can I keep doing that? And you should celebrate your wins. If you posted even 1 video, say, hey, that's great. I'm getting closer to my goals. How can I make this system better so that I could achieve the 5 videos or 2 videos a week, right? This is such a huge part of this process, actually measuring and staying accountable. And then you'll go back and revise your process. If something's not working, it's no big deal. You don't beat yourself up about it, right? You just say, hey, how can I fit this into my schedule? How can I do better? Is this still a goal I'm going towards? And then you'll adjust, come back, and eventually at the end of your 12-week year, I hope that you find that you've actually accomplished most or all of your goals, and then you'll keep going and start the process over again. But really, this helps you break down your year, which used to be 365 days, right, into 12 short weeks. You're going to see that you accomplished so much. Thank you so much for watching, and if you want to help me reach my 12-week year goal, please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to make a lot more videos similar to this, and please let me know what your 12-week year goal is and how you're going to achieve it, because I know we can do that in this new year. Every day, every 12 weeks is a new opportunity for you to really reach your goals. So I'll see you back here maybe in 12 weeks when I'm a YouTuber, a children's book author, and a bodybuilder. Anyways, thanks for watching and stay sweet.